I'm having a real moment of crash out because it's been 2 months and I still don't have a job. And I'm tired of going on LinkedIn. I just feel like nothing that I do is ever good enough. It's just really starting to get to me. I hope, or if anyone has ever been unemployed for a long time because they were laid off, because then I would love to know what you did or how you got a job, because I'm modifying the cover letters, obviously. I'm modifying the resume. I feel like I'm doing everything that I can, and it's been 2 months and I still haven't had interviews, and I'm well aware that this is a terrible climate, but I just feel so like nothing's ever gonna happen. And my goal was to have a job with something that I align in. The job that I was laid off from, I took a pay cut because I really believed in the mission. That was not necessarily a mistake, but it meant that financially I was not doing so great. I'm just feeling very defeated.
And another thing that like blew my mind about getting laid off was I own a fucking home. Like, and so many people who own homes and have mortgages and are keeping this little housing market alive are being laid off. Like the most essential people we have, I think at Providence just laid off like 200 people from a hospital that's already has no workers in it. Because even when I was pregnant with my daughter, which was 2 years ago, the doctors were running around. Like, literally, as I was giving birth, the lady was like, oh, wait, if you can hold on a couple minutes, I'm going to go downstairs and deliver another baby. I said, oh, yeah, I mean, no rush, no rush. And I was in Safeway the other day, and it was just so weird because I just hear, like, I kind of stopped because I heard this really, like, weird monotone voice of, if you've been affected by the recent layoffs, Safeway could be a good place for you. And I was like, you think I can pay my fucking mortgage with Safeway? Is that what we're offering? We're going to take away the jobs and give me Safeway? Girl, and there's nothing wrong with working at Safeway, but I can't pay my mortgage with Safeway, girl. And I said, oh, so they're fucking up the economy and giving us nothing.
So I just found out this morning that they are phasing out my role at a job that I've had for the last 7 years. There was no indication that this was happening, like no warning signs. It's a pretty small company, and I'm close with a lot of my coworkers, and I just didn't see this coming. It's just a super uncertain time, and I don't even know what to do next. I've been in this role for such a long time. I feel like I'm so rusty when it comes to, submitting applications and interviewing and, what are people looking for now? I kind of had a mixed role at my company. I was doing a lot of business development, building proposals, but I also dabbled in some product management as well as operations. So it kind of spanned the gamut. So yeah, any tips or tricks, on when you apply to jobs would be much appreciated. We're in the middle of hunting for a house. So this is definitely going to put a wrench in things. I had really good insurance at my current job, and my daughter is on my insurance, and, we're going through the fertility process. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's next.
I got laid off today. It's not looking cute because I have to move next month. I have a car payment tomorrow. Got to pay rent. And it's not giving thriving currently. It's giving recession. I don't know if anyone else is experiencing this right now, but I don't know if this is my cue to become a full-time influencer, but I'm literally like, what's the plan? Like, I don't know. I'm a little bit scared and a lot of bit faithful that I'm going to figure it out. Crazy though. It's real out here. Anyone else get laid off?
300,000 Black women have been laid off in the last 90 days just in 2025. This conversation we're about to have is very urgent and it needs to be talked about. I read an article from wbcollective.org that stated that Black women typically go into healthcare, government, and education, which have been considered very safe job sectors for us. Under the new administration and all these budget cuts, we have been absolutely affected the most. I don't think this is the time for us to be selling Black women courses or telling them to go back to school, because a lot of them have families to take care of and they need support right now. So we need to be looking at ways that we can support all these women that have been laid off. If you are at a job and you're willing to refer a woman, please do so. If you are willing to help funding with them to get their business off of the ground, please do so.
It is day 17 of 60. I am still applying and still getting rejected. I'm at 16 rejections so far. And when you are in a time crunch, then every rejection really feels heavier. I officially have 43 days to find a job. What I'm currently doing is still applying daily on Indeed, LinkedIn, and tweaking my resume for some of the roles, to be honest. And I'm reaching out to people in my network consistently. I just want to reiterate that it is very uncomfortable reaching out to people. But once you start doing it, you will get better ideas of how to reach out to people and not sound desperate. I'm reminding myself that 16 rejections means that I have taken 16 chances and it's okay to get rejected. And I know how hard it is to keep up the work and get up every day and do the same thing again just to get rejected. But that yes is around the corner and you have to push through this. If you're going through the same thing, I will say keep going. You will be able to do it. And lastly, do not forget to take care of yourself. Do something fun. It will all work out.
Today I saw not one, not two, not three, not four, but 5 Black creators, women, say they got laid off from their job today. This comes after the news that 300,000 Black women have been laid off so far in 2025. I scrolled some more on my timeline. I seen like 4 videos of Black women saying they have been applying to jobs since January of this year. It is now August and they have yet to receive a call back. I got 2 homegirls right now that do DoorDash and Uber Eats for a living. And my city just made it illegal to be homeless on the streets. This economy, this job market, this administration can go straight to hell. If you have a job, it don't matter if you don't like it. Do not quit, because these people is not hiring. A few years ago, Indeed used to be that girl. It used to be so easy to get a job. Now it's like ghost positions. They're just pretending to hire you. Then you gotta fill out an assessment, upload your resume, your cover letter, do an interview, then do another interview just to not get hired.
Being laid off, update number 2. So it was July 24th. Okay, so I guess it's been like 3 weeks. Yesterday I had a bad day. I did not want to get up off the couch. I was like super lazy. And then I was like, today I'm like, okay, get your ass up. Stop being annoying, right? And then I got a call today when we were out waiting for our table at breakfast. And I applied at Walmart, of all places. The company I used to work for was a big healthcare company, right? So, and I was a senior business analyst for that company. So I was like, well, I could go and be like one of those shoppers, whatever, for the online thing. And so they called, and so like I have an interview for it or whatever. And I'm just like, what do I do? Do I do it, or do, like, a job's a job, I mean, it is like, I can't even tell you, like, such a significant pay cut, but I mean, at least to be like out and about and doing the thing. But then am I a total entitled asshole because I don't want to work weekends? I haven't had to work weekends. I don't want to work holidays. Like, Walmart is the wrong job for me to be rolling up in there and talking like, I don't want to work weekends. So did you guys take a lesser job just to kind of do the thing, or what did you do?
So I joined the hundreds of thousands of Black women who have lost their jobs since the beginning of the year this past Friday. But don't feel bad for me because I have been preparing for this since last October. Sometime in September of last year, I started to feel like I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing. I just felt like I had a lot of brain fog and a lot of confusion about what was next for me. And it's so interesting because I see so many people on this app all the time that are also having the same sort of awakening. So in order to take care of myself, I actually went on leave from my job from the beginning of October until the end of December of last year. And if you've been following me, you know that during that time I did a magic mushroom experience. I went to a retreat. I went on a transatlantic voyage from Rome to Miami. I did a solo trip to Mexico. I did a lot of different things that by the end of that 90-day period, I felt like I understood what would be next for me. And I started thinking about my job as a resource. And while I showed up every day, did the things that I needed to do, always do my best, I'm never going to be a slacker, I just saw it for what it was.
I'm back with part two on how I've been laid off 4 times in 3 years. And to recap, the VP of marketing made a comment suggesting that me and a couple of other Black team members should go try this fried chicken restaurant. And so I talked to my manager about it, for transparency, one, and also just so that I can explain to her how uncomfortable I felt, and so that I can have a record of what happened during the meeting. After I spoke to my manager, she immediately freaked out and she decided that she would hop off the call and call me right back. In my mind, I'm like, I know she's contacting the VP of marketing immediately. They had like a weird relationship. Sometimes my manager would vent to me about her, and it was just unnecessarily complicated, and I just didn't need to be involved. But um, in the end, I knew there was some kind of like alliance pact, which impacted me and led to me getting laid off. So my manager ended up calling me back quickly, and her whole tone and energy shifted. It was a lot of projection and accusatory comments, such as, "Oh, I was told that you didn't have your camera on the entire time," or, "Oh, I was also told that you looked upset, like you had an attitude throughout the meeting." I was honestly shocked because one, my camera was on, and that's not a problem if my camera is off. And secondly, you're not addressing the real issue here, which is the comment that was made suggesting that me and a couple of other Black team members go try a fried chicken spot. It was really awkward, and in that moment, I already knew this isn't working out in my favor. And did I bite myself in the foot? I felt a little uneasy after the conversation. I was confused because the reaction that I got from my manager switched up very quickly. So I already knew there were conversations that were had between her and the VP of marketing. And just to save myself, I was like, let me go ahead and recap what we talked about via email so that I can ensure that whatever is captured is accurate. It's from my experience and that the facts are there. And so during my one-on-one, me and my manager had a conversation about it, and it was just still focused on my behavior and how I showed up unengaged in the meeting, basically lies. Like, and I knew that my manager was siding with the VP of marketing. There was no empathy regarding the comment that was made, and there was no apology whatsoever. During this time, I was also going through a lot of sudden life changes, with that being my grandmother who had passed away so suddenly. I was dealing with that. And so I had to make arrangements and take off, do bereavement leave, go handle some emergency affairs to make sure that everything was handled properly, and also emotionally support my mom. This was a huge loss in the family. And while I was in Phoenix, Arizona, there were a lot of shady things happening. There was a team member who was just giving me updates while I was in Phoenix, Arizona. which I appreciated at the time, but it was also such a stressful moment in my life. Like I'm dealing with the loss of my grandmother. I don't want to know what's going on behind the scenes, but I guess she was doing that just to look out. And part of what was going on was that they were making arrangements to find my replacement. That wasn't said, but they were hiring. They had a whole interview process to hire someone to join my team as a PR specialist. I was a senior manager of PR and social media at the company. And so adding someone on the team and me not being involved was a flag. There was no input and no one really cared. Like I said, I was out in Arizona trying to take care of some things during bereavement, and they were literally going through an interview process. They ended up hiring her. When I got back, she was already a part of the team. And to add, she was also a new graduate, and they paid for relocation from her to move to the city to where I live to join our team. Like, I've never heard of that. I remember being fresh out of college, there was no job offering a relocation package for me to join their company. So that was also odd. And you already know I was responsible for training her, showing her all the tools, the processes, getting her caught up to speed. In the midst of me training the new hire, my manager ended up walking in. She asked to speak to me, and I walked out and she was like, "We're gonna go to this conference room." As soon as she said those words, I was like, see, I knew something was about to happen. There was just some shadiness going on. And let me back up a little bit for context. I want to say a couple of days before this particular incident happened, I was removed from the Facebook page as an admin. And when I called my manager out about that, I'm like, "What's going on?" And she was like, "Oh, it's an accident. The agency accidentally did that," which I knew was a lie because there are multiple steps that you have to take to remove somebody from an admin role on a Facebook page. And I believe there is like a question that's like, "Are you sure you want to remove this person?" So it wasn't an accident. They were just not as calculated as they thought and just plain stupid. So that's why I wasn't really surprised when I was asked to join her in the conference room. When we walked in, it was dark and she didn't turn on the lights. And she sits across from me. It's just me and her. And then there's someone waiting for me, which is the HR manager. I've never heard of her, and she's on speakerphone. I was just beyond annoyed, not surprised, but just annoyed how me speaking up about an incident led to this so quickly. The reason that was shared with me on why I got laid off was because my role was no longer a need through some kind of business decision, which didn't make sense to me because they had enough money to budget in to hire a PR specialist who they then offer a relocation incentive to move down here for this job. I have nothing to say other than, do I get an exit interview? And so when I made that comment, my manager eyes got really big and she looked basically like the anxiety dog. That's how she was looking in the conference room. And she got up and just left me in there by myself. And so I had the opportunity to speak with HR about everything that I observed and I documented myself. HR was like, "Well, why didn't you speak up sooner?" Like, be for real. Me speaking up. Look at how it led to me being laid off. This is a prime example of why employees do not speak up because retaliation always happens. It's always like, let's get rid of the problem quickly, and the resolvement is always going to be a layoff. It has nothing to do with your work. That was not the reason. Again, it was just like a generic answer that they probably got from a response template, like, "Oh, due to business needs," or, "Oh, due to a restructure, we've decided that, the role is no longer a need."
I need help. I need advice. If you have 2 seconds, please stay and watch this video. I recently got laid off from my digital marketing position. I worked for an agency that's based in Missouri. I live in Arizona. I was working fully remote. I was very comfortable in my job. I felt very secure. I was not expecting this at all. Whenever I was told that I was being let go, it was like a stomach drop, like panic sort of feeling. It was very, very unexpected. And I'm not really sure what to do now because I don't have any other form of income. I am trying to do everything right. I'm trying to trust. I'm trying to hope that things will work out, but I'm running out of time. I have bills due next week. I don't have enough money for them even right now, and I really thought that I would be able to get some sort of kind of income, like even if it's part-time by now, but I've been applying to everywhere, to multiple jobs a day for the past like 2 weeks. I've been applying to full-time jobs, part-time jobs, in-person jobs, remote jobs. I've been applying to restaurants just so I can start making some kind of money. I have 4+ years of waitress experience and some bartending experience on top of that. So I've been applying to restaurants in the area to see if I can even get a part-time job there. I'm not hearing anything back from them. In my career field, I would like to work remote. I do digital marketing and I specialize in content creation. And I almost need to work remote because I live in Arizona. I live with my boyfriend. In the summer and in the winter, we are in different cities in Arizona. We are moving back and forth. So it's not really ideal for me to have a job in one place or the other unless it's seasonal, which is almost even more unrealistic than just getting a remote job. And I am applying to every opportunity that presents itself. I'm not really hearing anything back. I feel like I have a pretty impressive resume for someone my age. I'm 21 years old. I'm just really struggling, and I need advice, and I need somebody to guide me, or I need somebody to tell me what I'm doing wrong, or if I'm doing things right and I just need to trust. I am just really struggling, and it's very frustrating. It's just hard, and it sucks, and I don't really know what to do, and I want to be able to grow within my career, but I am having a really hard time finding anything that works.
Hey y'all, hey. So I had a very horrible thing happen to me that I'm gonna say is a blessing in disguise. I went to work on Wednesday, and Wednesday afternoon I get called down, to a meeting, and I get let go. I get let go from my job that I've been on for, it would have been 15 years on the 23rd. I get let go from my job. A job that I poured everything into. Everything. I would literally neglect myself to do this job. But I'm not bitter. I'm not bitter at all. I am hurt because you don't just wake up as a business. You don't just wake up one day and say, oh, we're going to pick this person and we're going to let her go. That's not how it happens. I know this was a well thought out plan. Now, listen, the company was poor. Okay? It was no doubts about that. The company, we was broke. Okay? When I first started, we were that business that everybody wanted to be at. We was choosy AF, okay? It took me 3 years to get in there. My best friend helped me get in. And we were wonderful. It was a beautiful place. I enjoyed it. And then, like some businesses, bad decisions were made. Money was squandered, and it was given to numerous people that, did they need it? Absolutely not. But the money was given anyway for whatever reason, and who cares? I don't care about that. But, bad business decisions were made. The company was heavy in the red. I just never thought that it would happen to me,
Life update, and it's really not good. I've given myself some time because I have a lot of emotions on this situation, but I did get laid off of my job last Monday. So it's been a week and a day. I had been there for 5.5 years. It's been a lot processing how I'm feeling and just trying to figure things out, honestly. I luckily got approved to DoorDash, so I've been doing that. I've just been applying everywhere I can, but it is very frustrating and hard and scary, honestly, not being certain about what's next to come. And honestly, I'm just looking for any advice. If you've ever been laid off, if someone you know has ever been laid off, like, I will take any advice I can get right now. I'm already trying to figure out the unemployment stuff. If I can't figure out a job, I'm already trying to figure out Medicaid and everything. It's just a lot. I'm really continuing to strive for working on my content creation and, like I said, door dashing like I've been, applying places. I'm really just trying to do what I can in order to not feel so scared right now.
Some of you are here because of my accessible bathroom remodel project that I'm very excited about, but I just got news that I'm getting laid off. Whee! I'm a government contractor. I found out 2 days into July that the client is taking away my hours on the contract. I'm not the only one impacted. A lot of other people on my team. It's called rescoping, whatever. This puts a wrench in things, but I'll still be sharing whatever progress I got. But yo girl needs to figure out next steps because I am the breadwinner between me and Sam. So I'm needing to figure some shit out. The issue is that I don't want to work corporate ever again, so I better become a millionaire fast.
And I'm gonna go ahead and say the quiet part out loud. Had this happened to 300,000 white women, there would be alarm bells going off as we speak. Combined with what is happening in DC right now is an all-out effort on all fronts to disenfranchise the Black community even more than we have already been disenfranchised in the past. I had worked for multiple government agencies as a government contractor. I'm talking a cleared individual, top secret and up at one point. And it's so disheartening to know that so many educated, hardworking, intelligent, gifted Black women have been forced out of the workforce this year, but also since 2020. A lot of Black women did not return to the workforce. And I can only speak for myself, but personally, I'm getting to a point where I'm like, how much more are Black women supposed to take? How much more are Black women supposed to suffer through? And how much more can Black women handle at this point? Those are the thoughts that are running through my mind. I know a fair amount of white people, have not seen any of them post about what's happening to Black women and the employment rates because they don't care. But if it was happening to them, those pink hat feminists, oh, they would be out there with their megaphones. But that's a story for another day. Black women, take care, and please hold on. Let's keep holding on to your faith, to your spirituality, to your self-care practices, and to whatever keeps you sane and feeling good in these extremely trying times.
Ziko juu vizuri.
Kutoka karibu kwa ile mpaka hapa. Right, this is a nice one.